Right, good morning, welcome back to the channel. See how warming up, as I say every time. Okay, we're back on a rant this morning. I'm back on form, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of people are going to criticise me over what I'm about to say. I'm going to be called an old fuddy-duddy and get with the programme grandad, all those sort of things. And that's fine. If you want to have a go at me, that's absolutely fine. But what am I on about? Let's get down the road and I'll tell you. Yes, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me again. Yeah, get with the programme, Grandad. In fact, that I can almost hear my grandkids saying that to me in a couple of years' time as they grow older. Quite right too. So what am I on about? Well, I'll tell you a little story about what I'm going to talk about this morning. I went off to see, you know, I've had a go in the past about Chinese motorcycles. So I thought it was only fair that I go and see some and ride some. So my plan was to go and ride a CF Moto, the MT450, which is the sort of runaway success motorcycle that's all over the YouTube channels at the moment. Everyone testing them right, left and centre and saying that they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. So I thought, time for me to go and test ride one. Oh, somebody's been doing some donuts here by the look of it. Look, could just be a lorry turning, I suppose. So off I went to a dealer's. Now it was funny really, because as I turned up, quite literally, this is no exaggeration, an MT450 CF Moto was being loaded into the back of a van, being collected. And to cut a long story short, there was only one of these bikes there, and it had already been sold. And the salesman, who I was chatting to for quite a while, was saying that he'd had 17 bikes in, and they'd sold the lot. And I thought, wow, that's pretty incredible. And it is. 17 bikes and they sold a lot. And what got me thinking about this, or how incredible it is that how many of those people have actually test ridden the bike? I suspect very, very few. And bear in mind, of course, people have always bought bikes without test riding them in the past, but this is also an unknown manufacturer to most people. They've never had a CF Moto before. I'm just going to pull over here. I'll be back with you in a second because I've left my buckle and my helmet undone, I think. Right, I just pulled over there and I'm back now. I've left my buckle, and who's pulled in behind me? If you can see in the mirror there, but it's Malk on his Triumph. He's got that re-registered again. Anyway, back to the subject. Yeah, they sold 17 of these bikes, and I can't see that many people can have actually test ridden them. So why have they bought these bikes? Because of YouTube testers, basically, isn't it? They bought them on the back of that. They've spent £5,699 just on the back of that, and it made me think about the way the motorcycle trade is going, basically, and how the old traditional sort of values, what we used to look for, are starting to disappear really. So why have people bought these things? Well, they've had fantastic tests, reviews online. Testers have been almost unanimously saying that they're a great bike at a bargain price. I would question that to a certain extent. They are a good price, yes, obviously, but then again, they're an unknown quantity, so there we go. But 17 sold. The guy is so rushed off his feet at the dealers, he can't even get his showroom sorted out. So basically, this is the future, isn't it? Let's just accept this is going to be the future. The Chinese are going to take over. Cheap Chinese bikes are going to be the ones that sell, and what's going to happen to the more traditional brands? I think some of the traditional brands are going to end up being very small scale boutique type brands that, if they survive at all, to be honest. So what started all this? This has been going on for quite a few years, let's be honest, even before the Chinese manufacturers became a force. Cheaper bikes, or the cost of bikes was going through the roof, and globalisation meant that most of the bikes built by the big manufacturers had parts in them sourced elsewhere. They were built abroad in countries other than their country of origin. So this has been sort of going, but the Chinese revolution that it's hitting now is going to escalate that tenfold almost overnight. This is the end, I think, for a lot of the big manufacturers. They're going to have to completely rejig their business model. To me, this whole thing sort of started. Why would anyone buy a bike, the CF Moto 450 for instance? Why would there be 17 people scrabbling to buy a bike that they've never ridden? The brand they have no experience of, or almost definitely have got no experience of whatsoever, but they bought this. They bought it, in my opinion, just because, as I said, the strength of YouTube testers. And I think a lot of this whole sort of change in the way we buy things began and was typified by mobile phones. We buy these mobile phones and we expect them to be good, high quality, to do what they're supposed to do, but then we're going to change them in 18 months anyway, so we don't care how long they last. They're a disposable product, and I think the era of disposable motorcycles is upon us now as well. It's funny because Malcolm, who's behind me now, I was riding with him yesterday on his ZZR600, and it got me thinking about the older motorcycles. I was talking to a chap at the cafe who bought a brand new Honda in 1991 and still had it. Those sort of people, quite rare, but old Japanese bikes like that aren't rare at all. Plenty of them still going. Does any of us really believe that these CF Motos are going to be around in 30 years? People are going to say, yeah, I bought mine back in 2024, it's 29 years old now, still going strong. We don't. That's not what we're buying them for, is it? People are buying them as a disposable product. They're going to keep them as long as the deal lasts, and then get rid and buy a new one. It's basically a rental machine, isn't it? And they don't really care about the longevity. They don't also really care about the brand. It's just, is it a thing that looks the part and would do what I want it to do for a period of time that I want it to do? Similar to my mobile phone. I don't care where it's made, I don't care how long it's going to last, as long as it lasts for this short period. After that, put it in a skip and start again. It's like recycling, isn't it? Recycling is a strange thing, isn't it? This recycling of products. The initial sense of recycling, that it was saving the planet. We weren't throwing things away, we were making use of them again. Yep, get it. And there's a lot going for that. Obviously plastics can be recycled, we all know that, and the metal and other parts. But I think that's gone the other way now, and it's almost encouraged us to be a throwaway society. It doesn't matter now that we throw our phones away after 18 months and have a new one, simply because we think, oh, it's going to get recycled, I'm not actually throwing it away. And isn't it actually encouraging more waste in that way? Would we have thrown perfectly good products away and recycled them in the past? I don't think we would. Right, off we go again. The amount of work that's done on this road is just Unbelievable. Bit suicidal, that chap. Yeah, it's a strange thing. How is it eco? How is it green to have all these products that we just chuck away after a short period of time because of the excuse of, oh, they're being recycled? And the same thing's happening with all products, isn't it? They only last a short time. They're so cheap. We buy them, we chuck them away, and I think, as I said, motorcycles are going to be exactly the same. Now, I'm not saying that Chinese motorcycles are garbage. When I went to test ride the CF Moto 450, which was my intention, obviously, because they were all sold, I couldn't do that. But it got me thinking that I didn't really need to. I didn't really need to test ride it. All I needed to do was sit on it, have a feel, have a look round. I knew how it was going to ride. And the reason is because it's basically a copied product, isn't it? It's going to have been made to compete with the competition superficially, and that's all that matters. As long as it does basically reasonably well against the competition, as long as the price is right, it will sell. So I didn't really need to test ride it. I know what it's going to ride like. It's going to ride okay. It's going to ride okay. What did I think of the product itself? Well, I spent a lot of time looking around it, a lot of time, and sitting on it and getting the feel for it. People have said that it's absolutely incredible value for money. Personally, I can see the rough edges. I'll be honest, acres of plastic. I think when you really look and think about it, even though it looks superficially shiny, it's got a lot of showroom appeal, I think it looks quite basic, quite plasticky, sort of as I was expecting really, and I thought a lot of the components looked as though I wouldn't trust them to last. I might be wrong, I might be completely wrong, and they might last absolutely fine, just as well as, for instance, my CL is lasting. Maybe they're going to be just as good a quality. But that's sort of irrelevant to what I'm saying here in a way. The point is, we all know that these things are going to be bought. They've got a 4-year warranty on them. How that's going to pan out, I don't know. It's clearly a sales technique. Put a 4-year warranty on it. The only thing that people are worried about is, are they going to be reliable? Slap a 4-year warranty on it, that's gone. That's out the window. They're not going to keep it 4 years anyway, so they're going to be feeling completely comfortable to buy it. And they clearly do. And 17 people have bought from that one single dealer a bike they've probably never ridden from a manufacturer. They have no idea about whatsoever. So there we go. The age of the throwaway bike. What do you think? Am I being fair, or am I being very unfair? I think the same thing's happened in so many products. The mobile phone, as I said, is the perfect example of that. We've all done it. We've all wanted to upgrade our phone, and many of us, if you're anything like me, you've got 3 or 4 old phones in your drawer that now look incredibly old-fashioned, but actually are still working perfectly well. But because the period of being able to exchange them has come up, we've just gone and got ourselves a new one. Why wouldn't you? And that's the future. It's a sad world, and yet it's obvious. A lot of what I'm saying is sort of obvious. As I said, Grandad, get a grip, get with the program. This is the future. I think it's really, really sad, to be honest. And I think, even though obviously the technology, one of the driving factors of this is the ever-increasing rate of progress in technology, means that things become obsolete. That's true, but I don't really think a motorcycle becomes obsolete. It's interesting because all the CF motors have got huge screens. I'll put a picture up, but the salesman actually said to me, oh, what we say is it comes with a free iPad. And that's certainly true. Huge screens. Bear in mind, these are Chinese-made screens. They're out in all weathers, getting soaked. Are they going to last? Are they going to be the critical factor that breaks down? I don't know. Who knows, eh? I certainly wouldn't want to own one of these things after the warranty period, that's for certain, and I'd want to read the small print in the warranty too. But there you go, that's just me rambling on. I'm going to get to the calf now, go and see Melk, who's behind me, and see what he's up to. He's got his Triumph back on the road. He's sawned his Kawasaki now, I think, and he's got his RS Triumph back on the road. There we go. I've no doubt it's going to be a lovely day today. There's going to be plenty of bikes out. That's all from me. Leave your comments below. Have a go at me if you want for being an old fart. That's fine. I know I am. And I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.